Okay, hello everyone. Thanks for coming today to the first Constant Talks event. I'm Yasna, and today I'll be making the case for why rap is more than just music. So, pun intended here, rap has gotten a bad rap lately. When we think of rap music, we often think of that classic song that glorifies money, cars, clothes, and women. We all know that song. We've heard it on the radio, we've heard it in the club, we've heard it at the bars. But I'm here to tell you that the words of a few are not necessarily the words of many. Right? For every little Pump, there's an Eminem. For every little Uzi, there's a Kendrick Lamar. And so I'm here to break down those common misconceptions and show you that rap, I actually would say, stands right neck and neck with some of the greatest literary works of all time. So this is one of the examples that perpetuates the common stigmas of rap. You might know this man. His name is Blueface, and his recent hit, Thotiana, has gotten a lot of traction lately. In the song he says, "Bust down, Thotiana. I want to see you bust down. Pick it up, now break it down. Speed it up, then slow it down. Bust it, bust down, bust it, bust it." Not really lyrical genius, I think we can all agree. But again, for every Blueface, there's a Royce da 5'9". Now Royce da 5'9" is an underground rapper. He's been in the game for over 20 years. He has ties to Eminem. And in one of his songs, he says, "I'm from the streets where the odds are not even. Robbery, thieving, ballers, debauchery, scheming. A lying Jesus is hard to believe. I'm a product of even the Garden of Eden, speaking how targeted we've been." Sounds a little different. You can hear the rhyme scheme, right? He's limited himself to one scheme all the way through. And yet, he's able to say so much. So in the first line, he's telling you about how his upbringing in the streets of Detroit was extremely difficult. Right? He's telling you that his odds of success, of achieving affluence and wealth in society, was not equal to those who didn't grow up in the streets. And notice the wordplay on odds and even. He then proceeds to list what he's seen on the streets, from robbing and thieving to debauchery, which is the excessive enjoyment of expedient pleasure, and scheming on other people. Then all those experiences are the reason why he finds it hard to believe in God. He finds it hard to find his own faith. And that's why he shows his conflict by screaming out Allah, who is the God of Muslim religion, and Jesus, the prophet of Christian religion. He then says, because of how targeted his minority group has been, the African American people, it's hard for him to believe that he's a product of the same seed, the same Eve in the Garden of Eden, as the man who's affluent and at the top of a big building being the CEO of a company. In 4 bars, Royce da 5'9" has said more than Blueface said in his entire song. Now that gives us a snippet. Really what rap teaches us is 2 main things, and that's why I love this genre of music. First, it teaches us self-confidence. So rap really started out with a group of people who would get around in an informal session, either in a backyard, in a porch, on a street, and simply explain why they are the best at what they do, why they are the best at rapping. You would go around in a circle, and if you were humbled, you would accept your loss and you would walk away. So rap is not only a practice in recognizing your own value, but also a practice in explaining that to other people. And that's where wordplay comes in. Metaphors, analogies, similes, wordplay to the highest level is the way that rappers are able to communicate how dope they really are. So at the end of the day, rap is more than just music. It's an art form that challenges and educates not only the listeners, but the rappers themselves. So when we think about self-confidence, I don't know if any of you have watched the movie 8 Mile, but that's pretty much the epitome of what that's like. So Eminem is probably the beacon of confidence in rap. And here we've got a nice censored version of one of his raps in a song. He says, "They were sleeping, I made them stop snoring, made them break out the popcorn. Now I've been hip-hop in its tip-top form. Flipped rap on its ear, like I dropped corn. Forget top 5, yo, I'm top 4. And that includes Biggie and Pop. Oh, when I got an evil twin, so who do you think that 3rd and that 4th spot's for?" So again, you can hear the rhyme word, the rhyming. The rhyme scheme all the way through is kept the same. Stop snoring, popcorn, top form. And yet, within that constraint, he's able to say so much. Right? He starts off by demonstrating what effect he's had on the audiences of rap and music. You know, he says, they used to be sleeping before I came, and I made them stop snoring. They were so entertained by me, they literally pulled out the popcorn like it was a movie. He then tells you he was the embodiment of hip-hop in its tip-top form. He makes a great simile about how the way he flipped the rap game is like flipping an ear of corn. He then says, forget top 5. I'm top 4 greatest of all time. He puts the Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac, 2 legendary rappers, in the 1 and 2 spots. And then he says, I'm so good that I deserve 2 spots in the top 4 rappers of all time list. So if we wanted to summarize this in 2 sentences, we could just say, you know, I've made a big impact on musical audiences, and I'm one of the greatest rappers of all time. And yet he does it in such a creative way and demonstrates why he thinks he's one of the greatest ever. In terms of wordplay, there's diction, lyricism, and penmanship that's taken to a level that, frankly, I don't think we've ever seen before. And a great example of that is the lesser-known rapper Ab Soul. Now, this is a simple 2-bar scheme, but he says, homie chose to go toe-to-toe, I had to break his leg like a cliche to rock a show. Is that over your head? It doesn't really make much sense to you at the beginning, but we can break it down here. So, he says, someone chose to go toe-to-toe with him. Someone chose to compete with him in the rap field. He literally just broke that guy's leg. He's showing you that he'll do whatever he has to do in order to win, in order to outcompete his competition. But similar to what people tell artists before they're about to rock a show, they say, break a leg. So he makes a simile and he says, like a cliche to rock a show. Now, he literally is breaking his competitor's leg so that they can't go toe-to-toe with him, because by extension of the broken leg, they can't properly use their toe, so they can't compete with him. And just to make it all better, he ties it all together with this body diction, right? These idioms. So he talks toe-to-toe, leg, and then he says, is that over your head? Did you catch what I was saying? But he specifically uses the word head to continue that body diction. And just to make it even more complex, a way of describing a meteor shower colloquially is a rock show. So he says, like a cliche to rock a show, is that over your head? Just like a meteor shower. Again, in 2 bars, Ab Soul has said more than Blueface really probably will say in his entire career. Now, these are just a few examples of how you can sit down, as long as you're listening to the right rapper, and break things down on a level that honestly most people would find extremely surprising. It's very easy to disconnect from rap when you hear it because it's so quick, and often it's hard to hear the words, but this is truly poetry in motion, and that's what rap was, right? Rhythm and poetry to a beat. So really, rap is an outlet. It's an outlet to tell stories, to get things off of your chest. It's therapeutic music at its highest level. It's a place, a venue for lyrical acrobatics. I think hopefully I've been able to show you today that rhyme schemes, analogies, metaphors, similes are at a level that honestly I think could be neck and neck with Shakespeare. And lastly, it's a raw form of creation. It's a raw form of art. It's a vessel of genuine emotion and a way to bring people together. So next time you hear Tatiana in the club, I'm not telling you to hate the song, but just remember that that doesn't necessarily represent rap music as a whole. Because at the end of the day, rap is more than just music. Thank you.